The coating durability test puts XS through a cycle of 10,000 strums. Through the lens of a microscope, it is clear that XS retains its composition better than other coated strings. Testing complete.
Right on, dude. Sounded great.
How are you?
Hey, I'm good, man. It's awesome to see you.
Nice to see
y'all.
you.
This is Perry with Premier Guitar. We're here in Indianapolis, Indiana, not Nashville, Tennessee today for, it doesn't usually go that way, but we came all the way up here to see our friend Billy because since the last time we did a rig rundown, shit's changed.
Yeah.
You got a Grammy. You got some new gear. You got a lot of new gear. I'm really excited to talk about it. Before we get into the gear, man, a couple questions. What was it like playing Doc Watson's guitar, man? How was that?
Oh man, that was really, really special. I mean, most of y'all know how much Doc Watson means to me, and I grew up on his music and hearing my dad play it and sing it, and so yeah, I was out there at Brian Sutton's flat picking camp in Brevard.
Yeah, I watched all the videos.
It was awesome
stuff, dude.
It was great. I went there as a student, and just sat in on a few classes and hung out. But yeah, so when I first got there, we were all just sort of hanging, and somebody goes, "Hey man, you want to play Doc's guitar?" And I'm like, "Wait, what?"
Oh, Haas? Yeah.
So we walked in there and they just handed it to me, and I like had a moment, I kind of, it was trippy.
Right.
But then
that's some full circle life shit.
After I got all the tears and waterworks and everything out of the way, I sat there and played it for about 3 hours. Just me and Brian sat down. He gave me a little lesson, on it. And I mean, not on it, but like I was playing Doc's guitar while Brian, gave me a lesson for like an hour or something. And it was awesome, man.
How cool.
Really great time. And it's such a great guitar.
It's a Gallagher, right?
It's a 1968 Gallagher, I want to say G50.
It's a 50.
Yeah. It's a mahogany guitar. I was flabbergasted by how amazing the sound quality was. It was like playing an old Martin or something.
Really? Loud.
Huge and just amazing sounding.
I guess I always assume, I don't know, y'all probably know better than I do, but that mahogany is maybe like a darker tone wood than, some others. I don't know. Rosewood is a typical, back and sides wood. But I don't know, the tone wood argument goes pretty deep. I mean, you could, every guitar is different.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, I used to play a lot more mahogany guitars. I think my first Thompson was mahogany, and every guitar I played up until I started being able to get some rosewood, I guess, I always used to like mahogany guitars. I think in like a acoustic setting, in like a bluegrass jam, there's banjos and upright basses and fiddles and stuff to cut through. A mahogany guitar can kind of point and cut through it a little bit better. Where a rosewood guitar, I feel like sometimes, I mean, it is great too. Most of my guitars are rosewood now, but there's a little bit more bass response, I feel like, and a little bit more just of a bit of a body on it. And I like playing rosewood guitars by myself more, solo. You know what I mean? And then if I know I'm gonna be going to a jam next to somebody's having a party or something, and there's gonna be picking, I might bring a mahogany guitar that'll
kind of sit in the mix better.
Yeah, or just kind of poke through them banjos and stuff,
Yeah, totally get that.
Yeah.
Well, what an awesome experience, man. I saw that video. I'm like, you got to be kidding. That is so cool, dude.
Yeah.
What else is cool? Dude, you're single with Willie. How was that working with him?
Oh.
How cool.
It was beautiful. Yeah, he's such a great man. And, after doing that track, I really got thinking about him and just how he's woven into the fabric of our nation,
He is Americana.
Yeah.
Like he is, oh man, what a cool experience. Great. And the song rips, man. It's great.
When we were recording, I went down there so we can put his vocals on, and he just went through it a few times, and he was kind of singing and trying to figure out what his vibe was on it. And I think something kind of clicked somewhere, and he just started singing, and it sounded like younger Willie. Like it sounded like his younger self. Maybe he was kind of fumbling with it at first, and I think it sort of pissed him off. And then the next take, it was like this voice came out, and I was like, "Oh my God, we got that on tape."
It's funny because on the track, it really is reminiscent of kind of
man.
older Willie stuff, you know?
He's 90 years old, still killing it out there on stage, singing his songs. Man, what an inspiration, you know?
Seriously. Man, that's a good run. You know, to still be doing what you love at that age.
Yeah, he says, you know, when Trigger quits, he'll quit.
Damn, judging from the looks of Trigger, I hope it has longer than it looks, because that thing is beat up. Did you get to play that?
I did.
How was that?
It was amazing. When we were sitting there, like I said, down there in Luck at his studio, we were just kind of sitting there shooting the bull for a second, and Trigger sitting there, and I asked him, "Can I strum a chord on it?" And he said, "Yeah, sure." And I started playing it for a while, and I didn't know, you know, and it was plugged into his amp too, so it had like the sound. His sound is like that guitar through that amp, you know.
Yeah.
But the engineer hit record, so I have, you know, 5 minutes recorded of me playing Trigger just at home on a hard drive somewhere. So it's like, just so I can keep that forever.
You can
and
back that up, buddy.
yeah,
That's so cool.
I can hear it, you know. And
yeah.
it's such that guitar. The whole story behind that guitar too is just crazy.
Something
man.
else,
Like,
man.
Somebody fell on his other guitar in a bar or something and crunched it, and so he called whoever was up in Nashville selling guitars at the time, said, "I need a new guitar," and so yeah, $700 or something. And he said, "That's exactly what I just paid for my roping horse, you know, that earlier that week or something, you know." So
wow.
Yeah.
Can you imagine being able to buy a guitar for that? A great guitar for that now? It doesn't work like that anymore.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, most of the time you're right, but you can find these little gems, man. I like just the old harmonies and
Sure.
you know, the silver tones and stuff like that. I mean, I found one of those at Carter one time for like $150, and it's just like one of my favorite guitars.
Yeah, they have a real cool sound. I like a lot of times when people put the rubber bridges on them for that sort of thing. Or
Totally.
I know there's also, the guy's name always escapes me, but I think he's in Alabama somewhere. But he'll take the old Ks and like re-brace the insides of them. And they sound, yeah.
I have a guitar from him, yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, man. Those, every time I've heard one, I've been kind of blown away by how huge they sound.
Yeah, because he'll take an old house brand guitar like that and then, you know, fix the saddle and the bridge and make it intonate, put new frets on it. You know, I'm not sure if we'll put a truss rod in or anything, you know.
Yeah, I think the deal is it has to kind of have a truss rod so you can adjust it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure on
But
that.
yeah, the braces too, will put scallop braces on it, on the inside.
Yeah.
Where some of those were like ladder braced, I think, you know, just like.
The way they were just cranking them out, just, you know.
Well, some of them are like toys.
Yeah, they were kind of student model or toy guitars.
Yeah, that were never meant to really sound as good as he's making them sound. So yeah, that's a.
Yeah.
There's which one? I have the Plainsman. It's got a real cool cowboy on the front.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Love
so
that.
Overhaul Guitars, check them out.
Yeah, definitely check them out. All right. Well, on to this Thompson. This has been your number one for a while. The last time we talked, not only was this the only guitar that you had out with you, but you didn't even have a guitar tech.
Yeah.
And now you got it going on. You got my brother from another mother over there, Toby Bean.
Oh, you guys know each other.
We have the same last name. Maybe we're related. I don't know.
Possibly related.
Possibly, yeah. But I think the last time we talked, you had there was an undersettle transducer or a couple of those on there, and then like one of those mic, like a lavalier style thing on the inside of that. But it looks like you've changed it up a little bit.
Okay, so I'm not going to be able to remember the name of the microphone that's in here. I know it's a Shure, but it's a WB something or other. I'll figure it out.
Oh, I see it now. Yeah. Okay.
I'll figure it out for you so we can put it in the
copy.
So we can get the right info. So yeah, what I have here is, well, first of all, this is my Thompson. Gosh, when did I get this thing? 2016, I think. Maybe 2015, 2016. I don't know. Maybe I really am not good with numbers or years and memory, but got real good memory. It's just short. But anyways, it's not 10 years old yet. So, but it's been through hell with me, and This guitar sounds the best to me plugged in with the pickup. And this pickup's been in here since I got it. And it just, I've tried other guitars. I have plenty of guitars with the K&K. And I will run it through the Grace DI just the same. But this guitar in particular, for a pickup, it sounds good.
Yeah. Which is hard to do, you know, anyone that's trying to mic an acoustic, it's hard to get an acoustic to sound like an acoustic a lot of times, you know?
Yeah, so I really like the K&K on this guitar, and like I said, I've tried other guitars, and every time I come back to this one because it's Old Faithful. It's
Get
just
that. Home.
and the neck, something about the neck is just really good for me. But yeah, I guess since I've seen you guys, you know, it's the same K&K pickup, but I don't know if I had this going on
I don't
last
think
time.
so. And also, this might be new. I could be wrong, but what's that?
Yeah.
What's that switch do?
So I have the K&K transducers here under the bridge, and then I also have this K&K magnetic pickup, and the reason for that, and this ugly thing that most people hate, get a lot of hate mail about it. So I'll run it through an amp, you know. So like, but with this pickup, it won't. It sounds really bad, and when the PA is on, it will just feed back immediately.
Yeah.
So I spent a couple years trying to figure out how to, you know, because I played metal when I was a teenager and stuff. And there's a part of my guitar playing that I can't access when I'm just, you know, flat picking.
Sure.
So I pretty much, my whole thing is I just want to be able to access all of it. Like, I'm not just trying to play bluegrass. I'm not just trying to play one thing or another. I just like a lot of different music, and I like the stuff that I grew up hearing. And I'd like to be able to soar into a rock and roll, you know, more like classic rock, Hendrix style solo or something, or like play Black Mountain Rag, you know, at the drop of a hat, just depending on what's going on, you know. So before, like I said, I was trying to figure out how to make an acoustic guitar sound decent with overdrive or distortion, and the transducer pickup would not do it because it just excites the top of the guitar too much, and it will just feed back. And I used to use an amp, and I used to use, I guess when I saw you guys, I had a deluxe or something.
Silver face, yeah.
Wow, that's been a while. So I used an orange for a while, and I just pointed it backwards, just facing back there. Like, just try to get it as far away from me as you can, so that like it doesn't feed back, you know. So that I did that for a while, but then I think I really got turned on to it from my buddy Anders Beck from Green Sky Bluegrass. On his dobro, he has a Lawler pickup, and he plays beard guitars, but yeah, they put a Lawler pickup on it, and then there's the regular, you know, dobro cone transducers or whatever, and that's what he does. He switched over to the Lawler, and then he goes, wow, and I'm like, holy shit, what if I used a magnetic pickup instead of a transducer? That's more like a Strat, man. It's more like an electric guitar pickup. So yeah, it works a lot better, you know, because you can just
Fun.
yeah. And then I can switch right back over and go right to, or whatever, you know, or if I'm in a, just whatever situation, you know, the situation is whatever happens.
It moves around, man.
Yeah, the situation moves around. But yeah, so that's what this switch is. This switch, when it's in this position, the down position, and I kind of just like will whack it, you know, or I'll kind of be on the pickup and then put it back to the, you know, down position. So when it's down, it's on the transducer. When it's right here, it's kind of right in between. So it's just like an electric guitar, you know, and then up here I have the magnetic pickup. So if ever you hear me, you know, soaring on the amp, I'm on this magnetic pickup. And then also inside of here is this little Shure microphone that I pretty much put right in here. I tuck it behind this X brace and just kind of, it's like resting on the top of the guitar. It's like right there. And it goes to my ears and it goes to out front of house. And that is this little guy right here. So this pack actually powers the mic. It gives it phantom. And yeah, I had Dave Johnson scale model guitars.
Love Dave.
Yes.
Love Dave.
Dave Johnson, you're the man.
Good guy.
We love you, Dave. Thank you for taking care of all of my guitars throughout the years. And thank you for the beautiful compression fret job you just did on my 44, because it plays like butter now, and you're just the man. We love you. Yeah. Shout out Dave Johnson, scale model guitars.
Love that dude.
What were we talking about? Oh yeah, the microphone. This pack gives it phantom. So Dave Johnson put this he figured this stuff out. Well, actually, Andy Falco from the infamous String Dusters, he sent me this this microphone, because I was like taping a DPA mic in there or whatever.
When that was taped, yeah.
And I saw something weird on his guitar. I was like, what are you doing? And so he's the one who I learned this from, Andy Falco.
Interesting.
So I don't know who, maybe him and his crew, Drew and those guys, but like, yeah, those guys are smart. So
that isn't a very interesting workaround for sure.
Yeah,
to give you kind of all.
And I'm wireless, you know, because otherwise I would have to have a cable to give this thing phantom, because it needs phantom. But this pack will actually send phantom to this particular mic through this. It's like a little mini.
Yeah, tiny little.
It's like a little mini 3-prong. Looks like a little XLR cable.
Yeah.
But it powers the mic. So yeah, that's the rig, you know, the Frankensteined out guitar that has been with me. It's been recently. It was in a real bad accident, like at the airport or something. There was.
Gotta love B&A.
Oh. I mean, I started just buying a seat, like when I travel with any.
Just for your guitar. Yeah, that makes.
When I travel with any guitar that I care about, I just started, and it sucks that, you know, I used to do like the early bird. I guess the one thing you can try is to get on Southwest and get early bird so that you're in the A group and stuff. But I think everybody is kind of even catching on to that, so it can be a bust, and yeah, I don't know. Either way. I just don't get on the plane if they tell me I can't bring it on. But somebody did. I don't know who it was. Somebody on my crew, probably. One of these guys. No, it's okay. Oh my gosh.
But it got
either way,
kissed.
something, you know, somebody let them take it, and it came out smashed. I mean, this was all. You can see this whole thing was crunched in right there.
Holy
and
crap.
Again, Dave Johnson, he fucking put this thing back together like Humpty Dumpty's, you know, and this was all bashed in, this huge crack, and this was like completely smushed in because it got caught between an elevator. It was like some elevator thing, some hydraulic fucking lifter thing. It got crunched in a cotton case. It was fucking destroyed. Like, it was insane.
Dave's a wizard. Do you notice any tonal differences since you got it back? Or is it pretty much the same?
It's pretty much the same, like. I mean, even just like acoustically.
It's really nice and loud. It projects well.
It's just a good guitar, even with its bumps and bruises, and I think that, you know, gives it character. And as pissed off as I was when it happened, it kind of, it's a little bit charming to me now in a way. It's like, this thing's been through hell.
It earned it, you know?
Yeah, well, and man, I've played a lot of gigs on this guitar.
Yeah.
Like, not 1,000, but close to.
I bet you're getting close.
Yeah. And so.
Yeah.
I love this whole thing, you know. And
man, I love it too. It sounds incredible.
Yep.
So the last time we talked, this was the only guitar that you had with you, which I think is personally kind of ballsy in your situation because you tour full time. But now you actually have a tech and you actually have some other guitars out with you. You want to talk about some of those as well?
Sure.
All right, cool. Okay, so tell me about this. This is another Thompson, right?
Right. Yeah, this is, so once I had, I guess what I started calling Frankenstein because of all of the pickups and, you know, this thing sticking out of, you know, it's like, looks like Frankenstein with all this bullshit on there. So I started calling that guitar, you know, the Frankenstein guitar. And then I wanted to have another one built exactly like it from Thompson, so that I could do the same thing with it, you know, basically just have a backup, a
Sure.
spare, in case I break a string or maybe, you know, whatever. So I had them build this one. It's the same, it's Brazilian rosewood, back and sides. And they did this really cool, like,
Cool burst, yeah.
gray looking sunburst. Well, because this is the bride of Frankenstein, too.
I love that. That is so cool.
So I have the Frankenstein guitar, and then I have
bolts here are
the
huge.
bride.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. They killed it, man. That's beautiful.
And so this one is, it's really similar to the other one. I usually use this one on like a lower tuning like that, like if I'm playing home. You know, like this is the guitar that I'll use for that.
Yeah, man, that's beautiful.
But she's a nice one.
Pretty much the same pickup situation.
Exactly
as
the
number one.
same. Yep, the microphone, the K&K transducer, magnetic, the Shure mic, same exact thing going on.
Very cool. Right on.
He's
All
a bit,
right. What else
yeah,
we
you
got
gotta
going
get
on?
a look at that.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna shoot a photo of that.
Yeah, man, that the little inlay there. She's cool.
She's awesome.
They killed that.
Yeah.
All right. So then next comes Jody.
All right.
This guitar used to belong to Jody Payne, who was Willie's longtime guitar player, and I just kind of came across it. It was all kind of messed up. There's plugged holes in it. The bridge was in the wrong spot. It wouldn't intonate. The neck had been overset. It was like there was like a freaking hump in the middle. Guess who fixed it?
Dave
Johnson.
Scale Model Guitars. The guy's a genius.
Yeah. He also drilled that hole right in the top there.
Which I'm sure everyone loved.
Yeah, and everybody's gonna, you know, crucify me for that. But so this is a 1945 Martin guitar that is now being played on stage, you know, for thousands of people, and that makes me happy.
Yeah.
And you know, it was a piece of shit before I got it, and I kind of put it together.
Do you think that was just from, you know, not have been played for a while, or?
I just think that there was some shitty work done on it.
Sure.
And also it was just kind of neglected, but it was not I guess it wasn't a piece of shit. I guess what I'm saying is it just needed like a lot of work.
Needs some love, yeah.
It was not like a functional guitar. It was, you know, I mean, you can see it's been smashed and filled in. It's been oversprayed. It's not like a pristine 45. Right. So to me, it was already molested before I got it.
I like that though. It's a player grade, man. You can take it out and not really have to worry too much about it.
I mean, I wouldn't do this to some of the guitars I have, you
totally.
know. But yeah, I call it Jody because it was Jody Payne's guitar, and it's a wonder to play. It's so awesome. The neck is really sweet too. I had Martin actually. The neck was like a little, you know, big for me. They actually kind of refinish it and put it into kind of like a modified V shape.
I was gonna say, maybe if you show the camera, because that is a pretty interesting neck shape, and it's not one you see on modern guitars that often, but
yeah, it's
some
kind
of the older.
A V. I got this guitar that used to belong to Tony Rice, this Santa Cruz guitar, and it has a little bit shorter scale length, and it has a real little V like that.
Oh, like the smaller one? Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's just a small neck, but the V is really pronounced.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to play. I mean, especially because of the short scale length. It's up the neck. I mean, it feels like I really like practicing on that guitar and playing, you know, anything like.
Do you like the V because it helps you plant your thumb, you know, behind?
Yeah,
like,
I think it. I mean, my other guitars don't have this.
Right.
But I think when I do play this one, I think it just leaves a little room for this like part of my hand. It's not like pressing up against anything. It's kind of, I can sort of wrap around a little better.
Sure.
You know?
And that thing is real loud too. It's surprising how loud it is.
Yeah, she's a good one now. I mean, like Dave got it standing tall. The bridge is really nice now. It was in totally the wrong spot. He's the man.
Which is wild. Do you think, I mean, you think that came from Martin like that, or did somebody just, it was a shitty repair or something?
That's what I think.
Okay.
I think somebody started messing around with this guitar that maybe didn't know what they were doing. Oh, and the other really crazy thing about this guitar is that when I was out with Willie at his 90th birthday party and at the Hollywood Bowl, Mickey, his longtime harmonica player, you know, I was showing him this guitar. I said, yeah, this used to be Jody's. And he's like, no way. And he was like, dude, we should sprinkle some of his ashes in there. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, I keep him with me. He's in my harmonica case. So we walked over there and he literally sprinkled his ashes in there and it stuck. You can see him right there.
Wow.
See that? I mean, it's literally stuck to the back. So
I don't know if that's like the coolest thing ever or the most macabre thing ever, but it's awesome. That's so cool.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like, who are we to make Jody's spirit continue to be on stage every night? But Mickey was his good friend, and he thinks that's what he would have wanted, so.
Well, I trust Mickey on that one for sure.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a really cool story, man.
So yeah, it's kind of crazy how it just stuck to the back of it there, like.
It's where it wanted to be, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's actually some chunks too.
I can hear it. As a matter of fact, I think we might have lost one, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put him back.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
But yeah, that's Jody, man. It's a beautiful guitar.
That's great.
I love this thing dearly, and I love all of them. They all mean something to me, you know? These are my tools and my children. They all have souls. They're really special to me. Like when I was growing up, my dad always just, you know, made sure I put them in the case, and, you know, he taught me how to do that, you know?
Showed you reverence for it.
Especially their acoustic, you know? I mean, if it's like it's a little bit different. You can kind of toss a Strat around or a hard body electric a little bit. They can take a little bit more, but these things are really delicate and they require utmost respect and care. Right, Toby?
I agree. Well, that one's an amazing story. Do you have anything else you want to show off?
Yeah, of course. Shit, I don't even know what this wood is.
Beautiful, whatever it is.
Yeah, so this is a Martin D45 that I had Martin make for me, kind of based off that Tony Rice guitar I was telling you about, with a little shorter scale length.
Yeah.
And this guitar sort of has like
a little bit of a V, yeah.
Yeah, like a little V on it. But it's really. I love this guitar.
Sounds great. Now I know this is newer, but it's already got quite a bit of checking on the top.
Yeah, I had him do that. It's like age.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
you know?
So that was an intentional thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really loud for a new guitar as well.
I'm not sure what kind of wood it even is.
That book match back is so cool, though, man. That's beautiful.
I'll have to ask Rory, my buddy over at Martin. But they put this little BS on there. I also had them put a little heart right there.
Oh, yeah.
On top. So when I look down at it, I am reminded, you know, how much I love what I'm doing and what I do. And
love that, man. It's a fun little reminder for sure.
But yeah, it's so pretty, you know, that it's just blinged out and it's got like engraved tuners and stuff. Wow. Totally such a beautiful guitar.
Yeah, that's gorgeous. All right, well, before we move on to another one, and I forget, what picks are you playing? Because we got that question a lot last time.
I'm pretty glued to this blue chip.
Oh, blue chip, yeah.
TP48 is what I'm using.
That's a pretty stout pick, huh?
And I kind of started using it because it's what Brian Sutton uses. And
Yeah.
He's just really good, and
It's funny.
so
Every time we talk to flat pickers or bluegrass dudes, it's always the blue chip is what people are
yeah.
talking about. For
It's
sure.
either that or like a hunk of shell. Like I might have a, you
Like
know,
an actual tortoise shell.
yeah, like something like
Oh,
that.
okay, yeah, totally.
You know, just a little, the same kind of shape as like a TP, but
Sure.
a piece of shell.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah. Like if I'm recording or just playing around the house or something, sometimes I'll use a piece of shell. On stage, always a blue chip.
Yeah.
I can't use a piece of shell on stage because it's almost like you start wearing into them too much and they start getting like kind of scratchy.
Mm.
These, man, I've been using these for years. I mean, since probably 2012 or 2011, I've been using a blue chip. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, we definitely got that question a lot last time because I skipped over it. But while we're talking about it, what about strings and gauges? Are they pretty much the same? I know you got a couple different scale lengths, but
Yep, 13 through 56 coated Diodarios.
right.
That's pretty much what I've been using for a while. I used to use elixirs back in the day. I always would break the G string on them though. It was so crazy. Like, I used to bring like a couple extra G strings on stage, and like I had this little winder thing I used to do like string changes on stage with my little battery powered winder, and like so I'd have 10 sets of elixirs, right? And then they would all have the G string removed from them.
Just to have his backup with you?
Well, no, because I'd break so many G strings, and then I have, 10 packs without a G string. And I'm like, oh, God. And they never even answered. Like, we tried to get them to, get an endorsement or whatever, but we couldn't.
Nice.
I don't even think we got a response. But Diodario did, and so...
At Premier Guitar, we love the good people over at Diodario. They actually sponsor this show, so we really appreciate them.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
their strings. They make some killer strings, man. Are these like the NYXLs, or is this just a phosphor bronze, or?
They're just the coated phosphor ones. XS, I think, is what they are.
And do you like the coated because it lasts longer?
Well,
I mean,
I don't.
Are you are you changing strings every show?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Sometimes every set.
right.
I mean, I wear them out pretty quick. It's weird. With the DI and the pickup thing, when they go dead, it's really bad and hard to play.
Right.
On my acoustic guitars, like just when ones I play into a microphone or something, I like dead strings. I'll use the non-coated, regular EJ, the regular old non-coated Diodarios, and I'll let them get dead as hell before I change them. Because especially on like an old Martin, because on the old guitars, dead string, like you can get away with dead strings more.
Right.
Because the guitar does it.
It's probably more true to form too, because man, they weren't changing strings all the time back then,
Oh my God! I mean, Carter Stanley, Larry Sparks, all those guys, they never changed their strings, man.
No,
They
unless it
change it
broke.
unless it broke. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's like, well, when do you change your strings? When they break?
Yeah.
What kind of strings do you use? Guitar strings?
Guitar strings? Yeah.
Yeah. I love that.
That's funny.
But yeah, Larry Sparks, I think he's still rocks old daddies.
Yeah.
Old daddies, man. And he's got such a good tone and stuff. Sutton, too, I think he likes dead, Diodarios.
Interesting. Huh. All right. Well, do we have any other guitars that we want to look at before
Of course.
Okay. In that case, let's do it.
This one's like kind of my pride and joy here. This is a 1940 D28. You're not going to see any holes getting drilled
No.
in this one.
No three-way switch on this bad boy.
No, this one just gets played into mics. Like when we set up a microphone, a lot of times we'll set up one mic or maybe just two mics and kind of, play to the crowd or whatever. I'll grab this guitar because it's just so acoustically. This one is really. Yeah.
Okay, so far this one's the award for being loudest, just standalone. That's wild.
Yeah, I mean,
And you've had this one for a while, right?
no.
Oh, is this new?
Yeah, it's really good. It's one of the best, like, 1940s Martins that I've played.
Yeah.
And
That
when
sounds
I have a
incredible.
44 as well.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that on our last rundown, but you didn't have it with you.
Yeah. So I have a 44 that's really good that I got from George Gruen. And that's the one that just got a compression job done on it from Dave. The neck was kind of a little too bowed, and he got it real straight and true. But when I got this one, I took that guitar, you know, my best one, down to Carter, and I kind of A-beat it with this one, and I'm like, man, I hope this doesn't beat it. And this one really did beat it, and you know, in a few different ways, but really because it's so easy to play, and it sounds so great, and it's easy to play. So like, because it's easier to play, it's easier for me to make it sound great.
Right.
You know, and to really get all of the tone out of the guitar and kind of pull tone from it, you know.
Did they have any history on it or know who it belonged to when you bought it?
I don't know. I think it was just like this Japanese collector guy.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah, it sounds great. I hope the Japanese collector guy is watching this because he'll get to see this guitar. But also, it looks like it was pretty well loved. Like somebody obviously was a player that played it, you know.
Yeah.
The wear, you know, completely clean off the pick guard. Someone who's beating the hell out of it.
And it's really been played. You can tell, you know, the neck kind of has that.
Haze on the.
Well, you can feel where somebody's hand was, you know, and I like that.
Yeah.
It feels played, and the guitar. It doesn't fight you back. It gives it to you.
Yeah.
It's like really, you know. It'll put out for you with its sound, you know. It's just a good one, really good one.
Yeah, it's
very lucky to have this guitar, and I play it every day, and I practice on it. You know, this is the one that I bring to my hotel room every night.
Gotcha. Wow.
You know.
They say good gear inspires. You know, if it's inspiring you to play and bring it with you to your hotel room, then it must be great.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this thing kind of doesn't leave my sight.
I get it. I totally get
This
it.
one doesn't live in the vault with the rest, you
No.
know. It's kind of.
Just in the bed next to you.
Yeah, at least where I can see it.
All right. Do we have any others before we dive into?
Well, there's Casio.
Okay, so when I got a chance to look in your boat earlier, this one stuck out as obviously your most expensive guitar.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This one is
This is
clearly.
Definitely a collector.
It's, I guess, mid to late 80s. Casio.
It's great. Are
It's
these
had
nylon
a
strings?
little bit of work done on it. It's had a neck reset. Dave Johnson he had to re-glue the saddle down here, and a few things. Change the carbonator and the flux capacitor and those
Totally.
things out. There was a couple little things like that we had to fix, but really, you know.
So cool. I think I remember when I was a kid, these like had onboard effects and stuff, almost like a Casio keyboard, right?
Yeah, it's there's all these different buttons, and they do different stuff. There's like the Donkey Kong.
And do I hear it tracking, almost like a MIDI pickup or something?
I honestly don't know how it works. I think it's a rubber keyboard that
okay.
it senses your finger, and then each one of these is like a trigger.
Right.
So it knows you're on the 5th fret and you're hitting the A string. So it just. And there's this great. This is the mandolin setting.
Of course it is. That's exactly like what a mandolin sounds like.
So that's nice.
Yeah.
It also has this.
That's the best part.
Oh, I have to switch to a guitar or something.
Dude, this is amazing, and it only works with the glasses, right?
Well, yeah, this is the preamp actually. The preamp's in here, and it powers the like I said, that flux capacitor thing that Dave put in there. But yeah, it's really probably my
That's your baby, huh?
my main axe.
Yeah.
I would say.
I get it. I get it.
I
Did
would
this
say-
come out with when you're playing with Trey Anastasio, or like this seems like a guitar that would fit that really well? Not so much, huh?
I mean, I only bring this out with the
Special.
big dogs.
Yeah.
I only,
Special occasions.
I only, for sure, man.
I get it. I get it. Well, maybe
All right.
let's switch back to your Thompson, and we'll run through your effects.
Sweet.
So the last time we talked, you had some of the stuff looks familiar, but some of it not so much. The Grace obviously is something you've had with you for quite a while. You did have like a Boss switcher of some sort, which you've upgraded to the RJM, and that's, I'm guessing, because you got so much going on over here in the rack. But
Yeah.
do you want to like talk us through it, or maybe the best way to do it would be how you have your mastermind set up? Because some people do it per song, per set list. Some guys set it up like almost like a pedal board where it's like clean, crunch,
Yeah.
gain, or how are
think
you running?
Mine is more kind of like a stomp box setup. So I guess, yeah, what I got going on is the Grace DI is the main, just DI. That will go out, that goes out also to the Kemper when I use,
And the Kemper is just for guitar, like electric guitar sounds, right?
yeah, and I pretty much have like one sound on there that I use. I think we were messing with a few other sounds like a while ago, but I just ended up kind of just wanting just the one sound. I mean, I do have like I have, a couple effects on this channel. I have the Mood pedal from Chase Bliss. I have this. There's just a little reverb, but then this thing with the whole harmonizer thing. I get like a little weird on that.
So what amp are you modeling coming out of the Kemper?
It's a Soldano. It's like SLO.
SLO 100.
100 is what it says. Yeah.
Which,
Is that like a heavy metal amp?
yeah,
I don't really
it's
know.
like one of my favorite high gain amps of all
Really?
time. Yeah, it's funny. Recently, we've run into a couple of guys that are using them that aren't using them for metal at all.
Oh yeah.
So it's a great amp. It's just a really good amplifier. So it's a good place to start if you're
Totally.
modeling for sure.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm just like getting like totally. I don't know. I should not be playing this guitar through an amp anyway. So at that point, it's just what the hell? Who cares what happens?
Yeah, fuck it. Yeah. It's like one of my favorite things about your live show. You just turn on ramped up phaser and distortion and all kinds of wacky shit that you wouldn't expect to hear in a bluegrass setting. That's the fun part, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, and then I have, I guess, like just to go through the pedals. I mean, I have the womb tone, which I have that connected to an expression pedal so I can change the rate.
Sure.
I've been doing that for a long time, since I think I was doing that back when I saw y'all the first time. Just so I can change the rate of it. A lot of time we'll be in like I'll just be playing rhythm. And then like, when the next part of the song's coming up, I'll You know, just give it like something like that. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And then I got a reverb, which is that Polera Digitech. I've had that the longest, I think, maybe of any pedal here. That one's been with me since my very first pedal board I tried to make back in like 2011 or 12.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Now, there's a lot of great reverbs in the world right now. What is it about that one? Is it just because you're really comfortable with it? And
It's kind of like this guitar. It's like it ain't broke, and I've tried to fix it, but every time I try to fix it, I realize it wasn't broke.
right.
And so it's just my reverb. I use what's the setting? I think it's the halo setting or something. Let me just double check. Yeah, it's the halo setting with the tails on. You can get a picture of this later,
Yeah,
but it's a
absolutely. We'll show you guys.
Digitech Polera. I don't know, I just got it a long time ago, and I just... let me switch back to the... Yeah, so really cool reverb. Pitchfork,
Gotta have that for Bluegrass.
totally. Just like to have that available.
Sure.
The Nemesis delay is one of definitely my most used pedals.
Source Audio, right?
Source Audio Nemesis.
Man, they make some. I love their stuff, but some of it is a little above my pay grade as far as like how complicated and deep you can get with those pedals.
Oh, yeah.
It's wild.
Totally. I mean, it's mine too, man. I don't want to pull out my cell phone to try to,
Right.
mess with the same thing with the H9. It's like, oh God, well, it's just too much. But Toby knows how to do it, so
Hey,
I can just tell him what I want to hear, and he can figure it out because he's good at that.
what a luxury.
But so the Nemesis is great. I have the tap tempo set on this, so I can. Just kind of, make sure I'm.
Where
A
you
lot
need
of
to be.
times I'll just like hit it like right on the downbeat, or like skip a downbeat or something, and then it usually lines up with something cool. So Nemesis is badass. I use that all the time. Freeze.
Now, out of
Electro harmonics.
Yeah, those things are awesome. I'm curious, with the Mastermind, can you program the switch to do the momentary feature like you could on the actual pedal?
I'm not sure. I bet you can.
Huh.
But I just use it as like a to put like a drone or something.
Almost like a synth pad.
Well, sometimes, and I'll do like put the like octave on it too. And then you can just kind of have that to like. Just getting weird, man.
Yeah, it's fun to get weird.
The H9, I have it. There's 100 sounds on it. I use it for this one sound that I hardly ever use. Just sounds like a helicopter reverb or something. I think it's called Shimmer or something on there.
Fun for sure.
The reverse delay is just what it sounds like.
Sure.
I can't even remember what pedal that's coming from. Oh, this digital delay right here. The Boss digital
the
delay.
VDA, yeah.
Yeah, I just have it on the reverse setting.
Yeah, sure.
So like lately, I've been figuring out like something cool to do is I'm running the reverse delay with the Nemesis at the same time, and they like go into each other. And then if you like mess with the fork too. Just makes some really weird sounds, you know?
How fun.
I have this like synthesizer pedal here that I never use. But if I did, it would be awesome. I need to use it more.
What about the Dimension C? How are you using that?
Yeah, it's just, I think it's just on like one of the, like the third setting or something.
Gotcha.
It's just a real chorusy kind of sound. You know, I'll use it for more rhythm stuff, I think, than like
Sure.
lead stuff. Chords and shit.
Now, I know for a while you were traveling with a Leslie. I'm guessing you were using the Strymon Lex to kind of cover that territory, huh?
Yeah. Kind of went back to it. I haven't actually abandoned Leslie. It's still on my rig. But what I found was I just want it to be on my direct signal, not like something we're adding in, because I want it to be really wet. You know, I want it to totally take over my signal.
And be post effects as well, like so you can kind of stack anything else you'd like.
Just so I can hit this sound and it come out like that, you know, out of the speakers. Because we were like miking the speaker and kind of blending it with my signal, but it's just another thing adding to the mix too. There's all these live microphones up here. I have a microphone inside of my guitar. There's several instruments. There's just so much information in my headphones that, you know, it's like, I'd rather just turn on the pedal on my DI signal and it kind of kills two birds, you know, at once, like, getting me out of the, you know, just miking it and it really makes it so it's wetter. And then it's just taking all that shit out of my headphones too. You know?
And it's a little easier for front of house.
Oh, totally. And it just, yeah, it just sounds better. I don't know. It's a good sounding pedal.
Yeah, they sound great.
So I just have it like really wet, you know, with like the distance really close. And I just have the slow and fast thing. I'll just kind of like use it, if I'm playing, I'll just kind of occasionally hit that button and just kind of
change it up.
Yeah, just morph the sound, you know. Pog, octave. Hardly ever use it, but it's always been there. This thing, the Raster, the Red Panda.
Yeah, they make some really cool stuff.
That's really weird pedal. I think there's one part and maybe one song that we never play that I like. I hardly ever use it, but it's still on there because if we play, I think it's like, so if we do Train Train. Sometimes I put it right there. I don't know why. This thing is a one of them source audio things that I hardly ever use this one. I only put this stuff on if it's really getting weird and, you know, the crowd is going off and we're just getting into some really different you know, which we're exploring. And sometimes you explore further than other times, you know?
Makes perfect sense.
So every once in a while, well, I have the envelope, which is it's actually a bass envelope. Larry Keel taught me about this one. Oh. MXR, it's a bass envelope. It actually works a lot better on the acoustic guitar. But if you mix it with that source audio thing, Again, that stuff rarely happens. I guess, yeah, just on this other page, all I have is the harmonizer for the amp. I have the mood delay. Yeah, which Chase Bliss, man, they make freaking incredible stuff. And then this, I think, is a Chase Bliss, the reverb thing too.
Yeah, man, you got a lot of fun toys at your disposal here.
Yeah, it's really fun, and so it's what it is. Oh, I have my looper too over here on the side.
Ah, the little
ditto,
yeah.
which is, it's another one of those things where it ain't broke. I've been using the ditto for a long time, and like just a little mini one.
Yeah, they're great.
And yeah, it's like I've tried other things. I like the little ditto.
Yeah. Also, I don't know if you noticed this, but every looper has just got its own quirks in the sense, like if you've always played a boomerang or you've always played a DL4, the where it catches, like you have to learn that.
Really?
And so if you're used to that one, that's probably you know.
Yeah, I know Trey's like really glued to the boomerang, old school.
Yeah, how often are you turning on the looper?
Like, I'll kind of get some weird stuff going with it, like, let's see. It happens just like when we're getting really weird and going off on these long improvised jams, you know.
Sure.
The cool thing, I guess, about how I have this set up too is like, say I have some loop going. So I have a volume control here with this little wingman, or what do you call that? I guess it's barefoot buttons, has little.
So you can control it with your foot.
Yeah, so I can, you know, I can turn it up or down. If I feel like it's getting too crazy, I can turn it down. But my amp is totally separate from the loop. Yeah, so I can get like a little loop going over here, and then I'll come over here and just play through the amp only. So like the DI signal or the, you know, the looper signal is doing this kind of stuff over here.
You can kind of come over top of it.
And then, yeah, I'll come over here on the amp, which doesn't, that was one of the things I had to figure out was like, I don't want the loop to come through the amp. I want that to be a separate thing, you know? So we had to kind of figure out how to route that or whatever. But yeah, there's little things like that. There's still, next time I see you, there will be more because it's always growing.
Hey,
I think
it's a moving target.
one of the things the next thing I'm going to figure out is like, you know, I used to use more than one effect on the Nemesis. Sometimes I just reach down and turn the knob to a different thing, you know. A lot of these pedals have so many different sounds in them, multiple sounds that I could use. That's what we're going to start doing. I don't know how much you've talked to Toby, but we're going to start, you know, like
implementing the little
so I could use the helix on the Nemesis as well as the sweeper.
Right.
So I could, you know, like I might add another pitchfork so I could use a different tone on it instead of, like I'll have one that can go do that, but then I'll have one that's just always on to where I hit it. It's just like the note and then the note like right here.
Right.
Like a little bit off, like this kind of thing.
A little dissonant.
So like I hit one note and it's, you know, I like stuff like that.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
that's,
well, man, with your imagination and ability, I feel like there's no ceiling, man. You can kind of take it anywhere you go.
yeah.
I like it. I like it a lot.
I'm just trying to have fun and, you know, keep my ass on the ground, and it's been a really fun time so far. But like, I've had a lot of people ask me, when are you gonna do another rig rundown? And so that's why I reached out, and I'm glad you guys were able to make it, because this is for those folks that, you know, want to know this nerdy shit. Because yeah, it's like I said, so many things here I've figured out just along the way. I learned this from hanging around Green Sky. I learned this from hanging around the Dusters. Like, I wouldn't know about that envelope without Larry Keel. Like, there's so many things that I've just learned along the way, and how to, you know, do this stuff. And like, you know, running the looper and stuff, like that's all from like listening to Fish and stuff. Like Trey does that stuff. You know, the whale calls back in the day and stuff. It's like, oh man, that's so cool. What if I could do that? What if I could get a little loop going and then, you know, come over here and jam on it with the amp? It's just like a coloring book, man.
Right. And considering your hardcore flat picking bluegrass background, incorporating all of this and taking a piece from here and there, it's created this whole thing that no one in the world could have done but you. And I think that's beautiful, man. You know, how cool is that? And I'm personally very excited for the show tonight. So I appreciate you having us up here.
Oh man,
yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for letting us hang with Toby.
Absolutely.
My possible cousin.
Oh yeah. I think we went over everything.
I mean, we covered it all.
Anything else that would just be kind of more a question for Toby and stuff. Like, I will play the banjo through that and stuff, but I think he just switches over. Other than that, I think we went through about everything.
All right, one last question for you.
Yeah.
What's the red button do there?
Red button turns on the fan.
Oh.
More importantly, it turns off the fan.
Gotcha. Okay.
When it is bothering me, or when my hair's, you know, going everywhere or something. I don't know.
I thought it was going to call the commissioner or something, but the fan's cool too.
Yeah. I know. Well, you know, I think Toby just stuck that down there because I was like fiddling with it, and there'd be nights where you know, it's hot, or nights where it's cold, and then I'm like reach down and I'm like turning off the fan in the middle of the show, and he's like,
yeah, and those things move some serious air too.
oh yeah. Plus you get the super,
do the Steve Vai. Yeah. Just
you know, you get the
it going,
badass
man.
looks going.
Yeah,
So.
hell yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging in there with us and watching this rundown. We appreciate it, Billy.
Thank you, man. Thank you guys so much.
Stay tuned for more rig rundowns, video lessons, all the guitar dorkery your little hearts could desire. See you guys later.
Thanks.